Okay.
10-4. Welcome back to Mulls on Mission. I'm Philip.
And I'm Anna.
And that was way too official. All right. Question. Are you ready for a question?
I'm always ready for a question.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm always ready to answer the question correctly.
All right. So I have two questions. The first one is like a bonus extra question, and then the second one is the real question. Are you ready for the bonus extra question?
Wait, the bonus comes first?
Yes. Because, yes.
Got it.
You know I have barely a plan for these things. All right, so bonus question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you have rated the smell of this room 10 minutes ago? And why?
This room was probably... Wait, you have to define the scale. 1 is...
We're going to say 1 is terrible and 10 is amazing.
Oh, okay. So, it was probably like a 4.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
So, our rubber... What is it called?
Pot sticker?
Pot holder?
Pot holder?
Pot sticker?
I don't know.
Our rubber pot holder got left in the oven and began burning.
And how did it get left in the oven?
Oh, I was not present.
I was preparing food. I picked up the thing which I was preparing food on, which is like the baking sheet. I stuck it in the oven, closed the door, started prepping something else, looked over, was like, I wonder where that other pot holder went. Oh well. And I kept going for another 2 minutes until I smelled burning rubber.
And smoke pouring out of the oven.
I don't know that I would say pouring, but it was definitely coming.
Billowing.
Wait. For some reason in my mind, billowing is a step above pouring.
Billowing just means big gusts or poofs, and there were big
poofs.
Big puffs.
There were big poofs.
There were big poofs of smoke.
Yep. Okay, so you rated a 4.
Yep.
That's
Not
fine.
the worst thing I've ever smelled, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, I agree. Burning rubber, not a great smell. But hopefully it will smell like delightfully baked pizza pretty soon.
On garlic bread.
Woo! All right, question 2. What would win? A lion or a shark? And Anna has chuckled and looked away.
Really?
Yeah, that's my question.
We're really doing this?
Uh-huh. And for those of you listening in who are like, what the heck kind of question is that? There's a YouTube little comedy skit that these guys did where it's called Shark versus Lion. And it's just it's a funny little comedy video.
Yep.
But
I'm going to put, let's say that lion and shark... Because the whole premise is you don't know where this fight is happening.
yeah,
They're
I think
both
the whole
apex.
premise is it's a stupid question.
It is a stupid question, but we're going to go a little heady here. And I'm going to put them both out of their element. They're falling from an airplane.
Okay.
So, pound for pound, I think shark is stronger than lion.
Shark definitely has a stronger bite than lion.
So if shark could land a bite while falling...
Plus it's got those serrated teeth.
Then shark would win.
Okay.
That's
your answer?
That's my answer.
So they're... Really, it feels like they both lose in that situation.
For sure.
Because of impact. I thought you were going to be like, I'm putting them out of their element. The lion's in the water and the shark's on land.
It's just an unfortunate question.
It is an unfortunate question. I am also going to go with shark. Because I'm going to
go... We didn't define what kind of shark either.
No,
if
that
it
doesn't
were
matter. That doesn't matter. Look, it's a stupid question. Don't think too hard. So I'm going to go with shark because sharks have conquered far more of the world than lions have conquered. And lions, they've had a losing battle recently. There used to be lions in Asia and in Europe, and now they're just in Africa. They've really taken a
Weren't
hard
there
hit.
North American lions, or was that North American cheetahs?
I
Pretty sure it was
I mean,
lions.
you have mountain lions. Does that count?
No, like they found
I think they
extinct
had
North American large
North American
cats, but
cheetah.
okay.
I don't know.
But a cheetah's not a large cat.
Apparently,
Big cat. It's a large
it
animal.
is
It's
a
not
large
a
cat.
big. It's not one of the big
I
cats.
told you that I got to pet a cheetah one time, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I was on a trip in Africa, and I mean they're like zoo cheetah, basically.
It's not like you went out on a
Yeah, I
safari
didn't like
and
walk out into the savannah and approach a hyena like Hiccup from How to Train
A
Your
hyena?
Dragon. We're gonna alter that and say a cheetah. I think I would rather meet a cheetah than a hyena, if I'm completely honest. I think if it was Philip cheetah versus Philip lion or a hyena, I would want to be Philip versus cheetah.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's the only
you-
matchup I have there.
I don't think it's much of a matchup either way.
Thanks, babe.
I love you. Don't ever go up against a cheetah.
But anyways, they're super soft to pet. Just delightfully soft. Like if one had its chomps on my neck, giving me like the death bite, I would just reach up and pet it, and that would be the last experience I have. And it would be delightful. It would really be nice.
Yep, I'm sure.
Except for the cheetah mouth on my neck part. But,
Okay.
All right, we got way too deep on that one. But moving on. All right, so update time. A little bit has changed since last time we updated everyone. We are living in a different house
Yes.
since the last time we talked to everyone. That was a rather sudden change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's going to be lots of sudden changes to come
Yeah.
in this journey.
Yeah, we've already seen, well, our timeline adjust a little bit with this move. Obviously, we weren't planning on moving until January
Yep.
out of our house of almost 4 years. And our timeline is changing too of when we think we're going to make it up to
Yep.
North Carolina.
Yep.
It's looking more like summer instead of spring of
Yeah.
of next year. So, we're good with it.
Yep.
But these changes, we're just recognizing that our plans
Yeah.
may be many,
Yep.
but the Lord directs our steps, right?
Yep.
So we're currently walking in that. But yeah, we're getting to live in the apartment right next to
Right next to my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that's really nice, just that we kind of get this ease of quality time with them now before that gets much harder.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing all kinds of blessings in the subtle and the dramatic changes that God is kind of bringing about. And as He modifies our plans, I've felt very blessed that we've gotten to see the good.
Yeah.
The fact that we, like you said, we get really, really convenient family access. And with our crazy lives right now, that was something that we were a little concerned about. Is like, how are we going to make sure that we spend enough time with family before, it takes 2 hours to see them,
Or a whole day.
or a whole day once we move
Yep.
out of state. So, or
Yeah.
overseas. So yeah, definitely a blessing there.
Yes.
And they are wonderful. We've got really good neighbors. Haha.
Pretty sure my mom listens. So, Mom, are you happy about this? Tell us in the comments. I don't
We
know.
are very, very grateful
Yes.
for this space and all the blessings that come with living close to
Yeah.
family. So
Yeah, and it looks like I'm going to get to go on a nice road trip with my dad at the end of the month, which
Yes.
will, fulfill a couple purposes. One, I think we're going to get to meet some people, and I'm going to be able to get introduced to people that I can share what Ann and I are doing with. And I'll just get some really good quality time with my dad on the road and at his conferences, seeing him work, seeing him do his thing. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. And your dad is also an amazing advocate.
Yes,
for
yes,
us.
he is. Yeah,
yes.
For sure. Like even today, he was texting me with a possible advocacy situation. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's so connected, and he's also so proud of you and wants to talk about what we're doing. So
yeah, he's a joiner for sure.
If you're listening, thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate all that you do.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the update right now. We're going to be moving again
in December.
At the end of December to Ocala from the Brandon area. So that'll be 2 hours north and in with my parents. So we're going from family to family, and that one was on the docket for
already. Yeah, that plan hasn't changed.
That plan has not changed.
How do you, Anna, deal with changing plans?
You know, I don't love change in general, even planned change. Like saying goodbye to our home.
Yeah.
Our first home.
Yeah.
You know, the home that we learned to be a married couple in. So many memories, as dirty and disgusting as some of the aspects of the
It was an old apartment.
It was very old.
Yeah.
But saying goodbye to it
Yeah.
was really hard, even though that was the plan.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I had a few more months. So there was some grief. There is that goodbye.
Yeah. Sort of a shock to it of like, oh, we're in another place, you know?
Yeah, it was that fast.
Yeah, it was over the course of a weekend.
Yeah.
We were from there to here, so.
It was so fast that I don't think I cried about it until a week or two later when I'd really sat down and processed, that being
the case.
Gone.
Yeah.
But I think something that God does pretty consistently is he shows me the good that he is working.
Yeah.
Maybe not in its entirety, but he allows me to see the blessings in the change, even if those changes are unexpected or even negative in nature, which none of the changes that we've experienced have been ultimately negative. They've just been unexpected and, you know.
Yep.
That's how life goes.
Yeah.
So,
It has led us to have good conversation just in our anticipating, you know, there's going to be at least 2 more moves in our pretty near future.
Yeah.
And then, you know, within the next couple years, a 3rd move to another country.
Right.
Quite possibly. So it's
plan.
led us to the conversation of just like, what makes a place feel like home? How can we have some semblance of sort of like anchoring or sameness? Safety, security. What makes you feel like comfortable, relaxed, at peace in a place?
Yeah.
Just in anticipation of things are going to be changing a lot. And when we're on the missions field, things are still going to be changing a lot. You know, people are going to show up, people are going to leave. We might have to move around when we're in a place.
Yeah.
So just we're starting to anticipate what things can we establish that stick with us, or routines that we can have that just help us really cope, and not just cope with, but like engage wherever we are.
Yeah.
What have been some of those things for you?
So I am recognizing that I am a fan of comfortable seating areas. So like when we first moved in, we didn't have a blanket on the couch.
Yeah.
and I just didn't want to sit on the couch. I was like, what is wrong? It's the same couch.
Yeah.
But because I didn't have the blanket, it didn't feel comfortable. It didn't feel like home. So things like that, just something soft. And I think this whole idea of having physical objects that make something feel like home, it's not going to be an on-off switch.
Yeah.
It will be a tool to soften the adjustment.
Yeah.
But yeah, blankets and comfortable seating, and then familiar smells. That was something that I was not expecting in moving in a new place. It's like, oh, it smells different than our old house. And that's new. That's distracting.
Yeah.
And I've always had a sensitive nose. So, but like, something as simple as a candle or opening the window, fresh air, things like that, that just make the place smell less foreign.
Yeah.
I think is something that I will want to take with me. Or maybe my essential oils.
Yes. Diffusers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. What about for you?
Yeah, for me, I feel like cough. If I get the opportunity to sort of organize a place, take all my stuff and give it a spot, My camera stuff goes here. My electronic stuff goes here. My 3D printer goes here. If I if I can catalog and organize everything, then boom, I know where stuff's at. Like, I don't have to think. Being in my own space, my mind is not, where is this thing that I am looking for or want or need? It just feels very automatic. So, like, my guard's down a little bit.
Yeah.
I can relax. All right, it's time for a story from the field.
Story time.
Story time.
Yeah. So the story that I wanted to share this time around was about the journey to a completed Bible in a people group in the Philippines called the Isnag people.
The what?
Isnag.
How do you spell that?
Isnag.
Nice.
I really hope I'm saying it right. Because I just read it. I don't hear people talking about it. But the reason this story stood out to me is because it was such a long journey with a lot of changes in plan and a lot of people saying yes when God changed the plan. And so, let me just share. The Isnag, well, actually the Philippines kind of initiative to start translation just in the country started, like, the conversation started with Cameron Townsend and the president of the Philippines in like 1953.
Okay.
And in 1956, a missionary moved into the Isnag community. So we're talking decades and decades ago. And it involves a lot of people, but Dick Rowe is the name of the missionary that moved into the village of Dibagat, which is where the translation happened. So there's a couple of people that are prominent in this story. First is, I don't know if I'll say his name right, but his name is Nard Pugyao.
Okay.
And so he was the first indigenous missionary pilot
in
the Philippines.
Nice.
And he got to
my kind of guy.
Yeah. So he met Jesus when he was 7 years old, and he was he got to be the one to fly the completed New Testaments
Ooh,
to his people.
that's cool.
So he's been involved in the process. So what was interesting is SIL.
What's SIL?
SIL is the specific translation branch of Wycliffe. It's a partner organization that oversees and sends out all the linguists and the translators and makes sure that they have the education and the support that they need. So SIL Philippines, let me see if I get this right. In 1971, a man named Rudy Barlan, also of the Philippines, moved to Dibagat to do a year of language learning with SIL for Bible translation consultant roles, but he wasn't planning on staying there. And and as the story goes, he ultimately ended up staying there long term. He's still there. He talks about, his story is really cool, but he talks about like when he moved, he had a suitcase. Yeah. That was it. And so the people of Dibagat like took care of him and supplied his needs and adopted him. A lot of hospitality. And so there was a lot of cooperation between the people and the translation team. So in 1982, the translation of the New Testament was completed. And then in 2006, they revised it because language changes. Yeah. And they also added Genesis and Exodus. But what was really interesting is SIL Philippines, their strategy was to translate the New Testament in as many languages as possible. Yeah. So the Old Testament was not really part of the plan for the people in Dibagat and the Isnag people. But again, God had other plans. Yes. So it was really too small a team to really accomplish this the Old Testament is huge. Yeah, it is such very big. Big project.
Oh, I never even have thought until right now about like translating Leviticus into another language.
Crazy, right?
I mean, it was translated into our language, but
yeah, exactly. So God brought in someone else to help with the work, and that was Mark Pugyao, so Nard's nephew. Okay. So it became a family thing. So Mark was pastoring a church for a year, and Rudy Barlan invited him to join in the translation. Okay. And so then it was Mark's turn to say yes to God, and then after he completed school, he ended up translating the Old Testament. Wow. While Rudy was the consultant. Okay. Right, because that was his role. And so 66 years after the gospel first arrived, the full Isnag Bible was dedicated. That was this June. Wow. Yeah. So
what would it be like to be a person within that community? It's very young. Yeah. When the first piece is translated. Yeah. And then over the course of your life, you're getting like introduced to more and more of the stories.
Oh, well, what was so beautiful to me is they were talking about the dedication. Yeah. And how these people were bringing in these old, well-worn, written in New Testaments and trading them in for brand new complete Bibles and sitting down right then and there. Some of them went to familiar passages, but a lot of them went straight to the Old Testament and just started eating it up. But they were talking about how they were recognizing our children are never not going to know Scripture in their language. the complete scripture.
Yeah.
Whereas most of them, like, that's their life. They've seen it progress. But like now an entire generation gets to grow up in the word.
Yeah.
And so during the dedication, 36 people were baptized.
Wow.
And received new Bibles.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually a church in Virginia that had partnered with the Isnag people for decades. They've been a part of this project. Okay. And so it was a global, like, around the world celebration.
A church.
Yeah.
In
Virginia.
A church in Virginia.
Yep.
Has been partnering with this project since near the beginning.
Yes. Yeah. So they've created relationships with.
That's very cool.
With Nard and Mark Pugian and Rudy Barlin and I think it's Virginia Beach Community Chapel is the church, and so they've been praying for the Isnag, but the Isnag have also been praying for their church as well, and so it's like this beautiful relationship, really cool. And everyone got to celebrate when the Bible was dedicated. So like it's really cool. Just
that is really cool.
All of the different connections that had to happen over 65, 66 years. That all that God did in the meantime. Yeah. Like sometimes it takes a while for God's plan to bear fruit that we see, but then you see all of the culmination that took a while. And there were a lot of yeses and there were a lot of changes, but it's priceless now what they have. So yeah, it's really a great story. I think they've got a video of the dedication or about the dedication on wycliffe.org/blog. And they also have, I think it's actually on YouTube. It is called Celebrating the Complete Isnag Bible.
Okay.
So you could watch.
Link will be in the description.
But yes. And it was 34, not 36 believers got baptized. I looked it up just now. Nice. But God has been so faithful in that process. And it's things like that we're just reminded of how faithful God is and how changes in plan don't change his plan at all. So, that's the story.
Thanks for sharing.
I cried watching the video, so just
be warned.
It's beautiful.
Okay. So both the blog story and the video will be in the description if anyone's interested.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We look forward to updating you guys again in the near future. Goodbye.
Bye.